Question number 5, I've called the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his statement that the proposed reductions in ACC levies is a, quotes, stealth tax cut? If so, does he agree that by keeping levies higher than they need to be, ACC is operating as a stealth tax? And if not, why not?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, I stand by my statement in the context it was made where the member labelled ACC levies as a stealth tax. I don't agree with the member's second point. Last month the budget signalled ACC levies will fall by $300 million in 2014-15 and by around $1 billion in 2015-16. This is a direct result of much improved performance by ACC. The government has been keen to ensure that its much improved performance on rehabilitation, which is the core of its activities, is well bedded in before we've considered passing some of the benefits of that back to households and businesses.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Is it correct that if he implemented the reduction of $700 million in ACC levies for this year and next, as recommended by ACC, an Obergale's surplus would not have been forecast for 2014-15 in his most recent budget?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, not necessarily, because as we pointed out to the member before, there's no single decision that means the government achieves surpluses, and it makes budget decisions as a package. For instance, you could argue that if we hadn't given schools up to $80 million in increased operational grants, we wouldn't have posted a surplus. But of course, that's not how the government approaches the issue. The government has had a different view than ACC about the future funding track, because we've wanted to ensure that its better performance was well embedded and that we could reduce the number of changes in the levy. For instance, not have levies go down and then have to put them up again.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Well then, if other revenue and other expense items were unchanged, but he implemented the reduction of ACC levies as recommended by ACC, is it correct an Obergale's surplus would not have been forecast for 2014-15 in his most recent budget?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, no, because we could say that about every single decision, as I've explained to the member. What we do know for sure is that if ACC had continued to be run as it was by the Labor Party as a political tool, we would be nowhere near surpluses today, because it was losing hundreds of millions of dollars.
Point of order, Honourable David Parker.
Mr Speaker, my question could not have been more specific.
Order, and I invite the member to ask his question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. If all other revenue and expense items were left unchanged, and if he had implemented the reduction of ACC levies as recommended by ACC, is it correct that an Obergale's surplus would not have been forecast for 2014-15 in his most recent budget?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no. For exactly the reasons as I stated in the previous answer, when I also said no. And that is because that's not the way the government makes budget decisions, either this government or the previous government. What I can also repeat is that if we had left ACC running as it was under the previous Labor government, losing billions of dollars a year, we would certainly not have surpluses.
Point of order.
Again, my question hasn't been addressed. My question was said, all other things being equal, if you change this, if you'd accepted the ACC advice, would you not have reached surplus? Now, the Minister doesn't want to admit it, but that question is direct, it's specific, and I would like, sir, the Minister to be required to answer the question, not what he wanted the question to be.
I accept that the answer is not according to the design or the wishes of the member, but the Minister, when he started his question, disputed. He simply said no and then gave some reasons. Order. Supplementary question, John Hayes.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. What reports has he seen on proposed stealth taxes.
Mr.
Honourable
Speaker,
Bill English.
I have seen a proposal to increase taxes under the emissions trading system by up to $500 per household. This report has puzzled me because the same people who are proposing to put up taxes on electricity by $500 per household have told the public they're going to reduce the cost of electricity by $300 per household. Both of these policies can't be right.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Is the Minister aware that if the system of pricing electricity moved to a production cost plus return on capital basis, the cost of carbon would not flow through to all electricity and that the total cost of carbon in electricity prices would decrease?
Honourable Bill English.
No, Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure what the member meant, but I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of it. What I can say is it is puzzling that the same two parties are promising to put electricity prices up by $500 a year with one policy and reduce it by $300 a year with another policy.
Supplementary question, Sue Moroney.
To the Minister of Finance. Why did he ignore official ministry advice in the regulatory impact statement that keeping ACC levies artificially high would, quote, negatively impact on economic growth and also on reducing costs for business?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, the government considered that advice but didn't agree that the levies were artificially high. What it did agree on is that ACC had done a good job of turning around the fact that under the previous government, rehabilitation rates for injured workers got significantly worse, and that meant ACC was making large losses. They have over the last few years significantly improved the rehabilitation rates. Now that we believe that the damage done by Labor has largely been fixed, we can start to reduce the levies.
Question number 6, Nikki Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is to the Minister of Housing. What progress has the government